Hey everyone, good morning. Thank you for joining our session. So today we'll be just talking a little about our journey with our HR and how we use IRIS for Health to empower basically the next generations at using AI. Being lucky today, I have with me Victor from product team, Simone, lead developer, and we just a smaller presentation for the great track care and IntelliCare team who's working on this project. So I will ask Victor, maybe you start.
So I'm just going to take you guys through a little bit about the InterSystems EHR, and then I'll pass it back to Eslam, and we'll go through some of the development that we've been working on. At a high-level overview, our InterSystems EHR, it's deployed in 29 countries at over 500 customer sites, and we're managing over 100 million patient records, or 100 million patients. It's built on IRIS. It's modular by design with many different modules for different parts of the hospital workflow. They can be swapped, interchanged, used or not used depending on the requirements of the hospital. It's adaptable. We have a core product that's sent out around the world, and then we have regional teams that are familiar with the requirements of the local regions that will customize the workflows, tailor the deployments, and work with the core product if we need additional enhancements, bug fixes, that sort of thing. It's fully interoperable. We support all the major interoperability standards. We have APIs for interacting with other systems. And one of the unique things about our system is that it's fully browser-based, it's mobile-enabled, and it's device agnostic. So bring us your hardware, and we'll make it work. It's just a little bit of an overview of where we're located around the world. We have a big presence in the Middle East, South America, we're growing, Asia, also Europe, and Australia, New Zealand. So we're spread around the world, and we're doing what we can to affect change. So, you know, we've heard a lot about AI here. You hear about it on TV, you hear about it on sports broadcasts. It's everywhere. There's a lot of hype. But for InterSystems, it's not just hype. Right now, we're on a journey to use AI to solve the problems that we couldn't before. And so managing care in the modern world, you know, none of this is new to you folks who've been working in EHRs, who've been working in hospitals. Traditional EHRs, they're built for record keeping, for, you know, documenting data entry. It's burdensome for physicians. There's a lot of administrative time. There's a lot of, you know, sitting in front of a computer when you're next to a patient. And we've sort of taken the humanity out of healthcare in a way. And so what we're looking to do with AI and with our modern EHRs is to rebalance that workload, to put patients back at the center of care, to put care providers back into the relationship, to bring back the humanity so that the providers can focus on care, patients have better experiences, better outcomes, and we give everyone back some time. And we think that we can do that using intuitive technology. And so that all sounds really good. You know, AIs can be transformative and powerful, and there's a lot of promise, but it's not without its challenges. These are some stats that we saw, I think, in one of the keynotes. Greater than 30% of AI initiatives are going to be abandoned by the end of 2025. Less than half of all the AI solutions right now are going to, less than half of all the AI solutions that make it to a prototype make it to market. So more than a 50% failure rate, because there are some real challenges in implementing AI with an EHR, which, you know, it's complex. The first thing we have to talk about and the first thing we have to deal with is real-time responses. So we're looking to give providers some time back. We're looking to have intuitive workflows. We can't have providers sitting around waiting for models to generate responses to their queries. We can't have a high amount of latency processing data. It's frustrating. It's not the experience that we want. It's not the experience that people will accept. Then we have trust. Trust sort of has a lot of different dimensions. There's trust of the users that the models are providing accurate information. There's trust that it's useful information. There's trust that we are providing the models with everything that they need to know. There's trust that we are protecting PHI, that we're not unnecessarily exposing PHI, and that we're maintaining safety and anonymity as much as we can. And then there's the idea of governance and auditing and safety, so that every AI interaction needs to be explainable, it needs to be controlled, and it needs to be traceable so that everyone feels comfortable and we comply with all the safety and regulatory requirements. Probably the biggest one, though, the biggest key challenge is the complexity. There's tons and tons of patient data, and it's data of various different types. We have structured data ranging from observations to labs. We have lots of unstructured data for nursing notes, progress notes. We have scanned images, x-rays. We have a variety of data that we need to be able to share with models quickly, effectively, and those models need to be able to process that data. And it's complex. The additional challenge, the other layer of complexity, is the longer a patient's been in the hospital, the more data they have. Eventually, we get so much data that we exceed model limits for tokens. We exceed the ability to process that data in a timely fashion, and we go back to the issues with real-time responses and latency. So we have to manage all that and figure out how all that works. And there's a cost to that. So lots of data means lots of tokens, means it's expensive. It's expensive financially, but it's also expensive for time, hardware, and we need to be able to manage all these things in a cost-effective way so that it's a solution that our partners can actually implement and it's not too financially burdensome. And the last one here, it's actually not on here, but we need to be able to integrate these workflows into existing patterns of work. We need to make sure that we're not disrupting existing workflows. We're trying to integrate as seamlessly as possible, because any friction, any additional time, any slowness, extra clicks, that really reduces the willingness to adopt a new technology and, adds more friction to the system. And then a quick overview of some of our clinical safety principles. Human oversight, we're always talking about having a human in the loop. We're not particularly interested in having an AI that adds a lot of documentation for us without a human in the loop or places orders. We need to make sure that there's someone involved with clinical knowledge that's able to make decisions based off of the guidance that's been provided. It's a tool more than anything for us. Data transparency. We want to make sure that if we're getting any data that is meant to be ingested into the chart and it's generated from AI, that it's very clear that that's what's happened. We need to be able to edit and correct that data if it is returned to us and we decide that it's going to be used. Our users need to be aware of the available data, what we're sharing with the models. There needs to be transparency and traceability as far as what's been shared with the models, so that it's very clear to the users if what data has been included and omitted. Part of that is consistency and record keeping. There's an audit of all the user interactions with the model, an audit of what's been shared, what that payload looks like, what the model response is, how long that takes, who's done it, where, why, and what's been shared is a big thing that we need to keep in mind. And then regulatory compliance and scope. Obviously with AI, there's ever-changing regulations, and we need to make sure as a company that as we develop, we are well within those regulations, so we can be at the forefront of moving forward. I'm going to pass this over to Eslam.
Thank you. Thank you. So another aspect for our development and release cycle is also the regulation. So that's something we learned that we need to start this early. It's not after the fact. So we need to make sure everything, like bottom to top, including the models, the content, the solution, everything is compliant, because we start, and I'm sure you already saw that there is a lot of AI regulation start to go around the world, and some of those might vary per country, and also data privacy and all of that. I will not go in details because the time is short, but we have Rebecca here, our legal counsel, if you have any question about that. So let's go now to see how we were able to tackle those challenges. And this came with a great help from our data platform team and IRIS for Health. So one of those is, and that's something I think you saw yesterday in the chart, about data access and the speed. So sub-second data access and the ability for us to generate RAG for patient record, even patients staying in a hospital for almost a year. That was critical for us for the solution. Because as Victor said, like if there is a delay or the physician takes this will take much longer time, then there will be further usual way, and we didn't gain them anything. Another thing is to build on the capabilities. We start to getting it with evolve of AI, like semantic search and data profiling. So semantic search is allowing us basically to get insights from unstructured data, as the most relevant one, like clinical notes. And also the data profiling is allowing us to share a specific selected data to avoid any privacy issues. As example, we don't share the others. So we have all this flexibility coming with IRIS for Health. The third one is a unified healthcare. So IRIS for Health is more like an operating system for us. It's a platform, so we can store not only text, also structured, unstructured, but also media files that we're using in ambient, like audio, images, and if needed, we can also have video. All of this is stored in one unified place. The last one is the trust. So everything is getting audited, including the access, including what have been sent to the model, what returned from the model, and that give full transparent to our customer. So as I said before, like you consider, and this I think like Jokan, our director of data platform, he mentioned, I think, before is IRIS for Health is more like an operating system for us. So it takes care of everything, the communication with operating system, interoperability, communication with external, and now also the same for the AI. So basically that helps us basically to expand our solution, our HR we had before, and so we didn't have basically to invent the wheel or start from scratch. We were able basically to expand the solution, and all of this is running from the same system our customer had it before. So we were able to run still the departmental solution, revenue cycle, and all of that, but also we start to add in core advanced AI, and this we see as a big differentiator for us and anyone using IRIS for Health. So other than you like take your system and put it in the cloud or move it somewhere else, even if it's on premises or the cloud, you can basically build your own AI application without like developing a team just to learn something new from scratch. And this was the biggest advantage and allow us to have function like what I'm showing, having like ambient, build communication and build a mobile app to send the ambient, doing actions, AI assistant, and all of that. This is just like a high level from what IRIS for Health is allowing us to do today. So one of the key things, for example, we wanted from day one to have what we call more like AI framework or AI gateway. So one single point APIs that are crossed by all the module inside our HR to access any LLM that makes sure every request is following the same way, that we can control the temperature, we can disable the access, we can have more control, and in future we expand it to any other function without it changing anything in the module and make it integrated. And make ready-made blocks like RAG, semantic search, even build something like a playground. All of this is built within IRIS for Health, so we don't need to rely on external. Make what we call smart data profiles. So basically, you are able basically to allow our customer to select what data to be shared with AI, privacy, and also most important one, to make it cloud neutral, so we can run it with any system. This is just high-level diagram from what we're able to build more like an AI gateway using IRIS for Health. So in the left, you can see the LLM, ASR for ambient. In the middle is basically what we have like an abstract layer that we are able basically to do everything, including security, RAG, configuration, evaluation, embedding, and send the embedding to another IRIS for Health to do the semantic search. And this allows all those use cases you see on the right, like coding assistant, AI assistant, mobile app, and more in the future. So other than we built different ways, it's just like built once and used multi-times. As this is just like a high level of the architect, and this is like the flexibility of IRIS for Health. I can have it on premises and connect to LLM in the cloud, or I can have it all in the cloud. It's up to us. It's again all like building blocks like what you saw yesterday. We have basically the mobile app can be communicated directly with IRIS for Health using web services, REST API, whatever we decide. I have a video, but I think due to the time I'll skip that. So basically, this is what allows us today using IRIS for Health and what we built to allow things like, as I said before, AI assistant, ambient listening, actions, which is unstructured to structured actions, prompts, coding workbench. What we're going in future direction, you can see it here. Like, of course, everyone talking about AI agents. We're looking to add more guardrails, smart RAG and context RAG, so it's not like just sharing the RAG as is. We base on the question, integrate more like clinical knowledge base, like Elsevier and all of that, automation, basically start to embed it more and more in our system. What you saw yesterday, we had like a quick demo about real-time ambient. This is where also, as Victor said, is that we're looking basically not use AI as AI, but just like to empower our physician and user and use it in the use cases. So we see use cases like real-time ambient, which is agentic is really shining up, or other use cases. That's basically what we are looking for. I think we're almost done, so I don't know, we have a minute if anyone have any questions or two. Okay, thank you.